everyone, today I've got your Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey movie review. I had seen this over the weekend and I was really anticipating seeing this movie ever since I first saw the trailer, ever since I first heard that they were actually making this movie. And granted, I did not read the book, as some of you may know. I just went to go see it because, you know, it's Lord of the Rings, it's, you know, it's The Hobbit. It's directed by Peter Jackson, who's like one of my favorite directors of all time. I definitely had to see this movie. Plus, it just, you know, it's going back to Middle Earth. I mean, what's more fun than that? This movie is basically the prequel where Bilbo, who's played by Martin Freeman, he is the younger Bilbo trying to, you know, who is basically going on this journey where he eventually finds the One Ring. And along the way, I mean, there are a bunch of new faces in this movie as well as old from the previous 3 films of Lord of the Rings. Gandalf comes back and he is trying to convince Bilbo to go with the dwarves and be a part of their company so that they can take back what happened to their own land, Erebor, caused by the evil dragon Smaug, who will not be, who is slightly featured in this movie, but there's going to be another movie, because it's put into 3 movies, which I found really ridiculous when I first found out about it. It's going to be another trilogy, and Smaug's going to be in the 2nd movie, so get ready for that. But in this movie, I think it was just absolutely crazy. It was like better than anything I ever expected. The dwarves, and I really wish I could say all the names of all the dwarves. Thorin Oakenshield, Richard Armitage as Thorin Oakenshield. Oh my god, he was so hot. I mean, don't judge me, but he was actually good looking. I was like, oh, he's so amazing. Dwarves were a huge aspect of this movie, a huge part of it that really brought me back to what I really liked about the Lord of the Rings and this movie especially. They all had their like different personalities and they all looked different, so I really liked that. You can sort of tell them apart, how they were always sort of like, you know, having some kind of like awkward but funny relationship with each other. And especially when they first enter Bilbo's house, that was awesome. I have to give it up to Martin Freeman, who portrays a really awesome younger version of Bilbo, who was originally played by Ian Holm from the first trilogy. He's actually featured, the original actor is featured in the beginning of the movie, and it's kind of interesting how they're like trying to make him look a little bit younger than how he was now, because also Elijah Wood was in the movie too, and sort of like a little cameo. What is he doing there? And I just felt like when he started talking, I was like, wait a minute, I'm just going to ignore the fact that I mean, obviously it's been how many years since the first Lord of the Rings trilogy came out. He sounds older, but it doesn't matter because just adding him in there was really nice. The dwarves go on this journey with Bilbo, and Gandalf's coming along for the ride for a little bit because he's got to go meet up with some of his other friends who all form this kind of like order, included Saruman, Galadriel, and Elrond, who are all reprising their roles again. So it was really nice to see them come back because, I mean, what's more awesome than seeing like the original actors? A couple of things that I really liked about this movie, non-spoilers by the way, for some of you who probably haven't seen the movie. I definitely liked the action, and knowing that this movie was shot in, I don't know how many frames per second it was like I could definitely tell that the action definitely popped out. Just the quality of the film was just really, really beautifully shot. Of course, going back to New Zealand, seeing all those, like, the landscapes, just amazing, and just made me feel like I was actually there. The enemies that the dwarves had to go up against, like the The trolls, I thought the troll scene was really awesome because it definitely brought it back to a reference that was made in the Fellowship of the Ring when Bilbo's talking about his encounter with the 3 trolls. So I thought that was really awesome to see that, like, instead of actually hearing what was going on and actually seeing it. In this movie, especially going back to when Bilbo finds the ring and meeting Gollum, I thought, definitely, once again, Gollum is one of my most favorite sort of Lord of the Rings characters of all time, and he's just so, like, he's still funny, he's just still evil and conniving. It's, like, crazy. Like, the one scene that they did, Bilbo and Gollum, and they're, like, talking, like, back and forth, like, telling each other riddles and stuff. I thought that was just really hilarious. Also, the scene with the eagles coming in, I thought that was really awesome too. It was just, a lot of the scenes were beautifully shot, the action, the acting was really good. The dwarves, I thought, were just like the funniest element of the movie, and I would definitely see this movie again. Reminded me of, like, everything that I loved about the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and now I have to look forward to a new trilogy. So I can't wait to see what else is going to happen, especially with seeing little shots of Smaug. Like, you hear and see all the destruction that Smaug is causing, but you don't actually see the full-blown dragon, which I thought was really awesome, and just, like, contains some of the mystery that Smaug sort of has. And also, when they were referencing the Necromancer, I don't know which movie, I'm pretty sure they're going to start the part 2 talking about the Necromancer as well, or it could be the 3rd, I don't know. But all these just little references that I remember hearing from The Hobbit, like the actual book, even though I haven't read it, but I've, like, heard of things. This movie was just really awesome, and you should see it if you haven't seen it. Go see this movie. It is awesome. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, if you guys liked it, if you can't wait to see the other 2 movies of the trilogy, and what was your most favorite part, non-spoilers, about the movie. You guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, coming every week for a Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys.